Yeah, I just start shaving in the middle of this.
All right. Well, today me and Daniel are going to talk about working out. This is what Kelsey and I were supposed to talk about, but she took a surprise chip. She took the surprise chips to the old CO.
Why? Like, why is she going there?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of an obvious explanation for that. I don't know. What do they do when they go to the old CO? CO
Who's
sucks,
she going with again?
Have you been to Colorado?
Yeah,
I think it's Kirsten and possibly someone else, possibly one or two other people.
Yeah. I can't imagine why they would want to go to Colorado. It's not like they're known for smoking copious amounts of
junk.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. They're 15 minutes from the other border. Why would you drive like 350 miles across the width of Kansas and plus,
because
to get to Colorado, to anything in Colorado, you have to drive another like 100 miles into Colorado. I don't understand why you would do this like round trip I am genuinely confused. Also, have you been to Colorado before?
Yeah, so 2 years ago I stayed there with our cousins. It actually wasn't that bad when we were staying there, but no, I don't want to like live there because the road system that they got going on there, terrible. There's like there was an accident that happened where we were staying, and what it was the interstate, and you'd think, oh, interstate, 2-3 lanes, whatever it was where that happened. It went from a 2-hour drive to Denver to 12 hours because of the accident, because traffic got backed up and there's no like alternative roads around. It was great.
Yes. And this is not just, I was going to say this is not anecdotal. This is absolutely anecdotal, but the anecdote that I have is my percussion teacher when I was in college, every year would take like a rucking or like a backpacking trip. Just I think somewhere west. I don't know exactly where. Just good hiking area. And he said that he would, and he's like in his 50s or 60s. So he's done this a lot. He's made this trip a lot. He said anytime that he can avoid the like Denver, Aurora area, that part of Colorado, he will literally drive around it to not have to drive through like central Colorado, because the traffic is just so bad. And my experience as well, all the driving I've done, and I drive a lot for my job. I just calculated how much I spend in gas a year. And it's a lot. It's about $3,000 I spend in gas a year, with all the driving I do. So I am qualified to say, of all the driving, Colorado, that like Denver area, is like the few times I've been there, it's horrible. I mean, it's just like anything and everything you expect to go wrong is probably going to go wrong. Yeah, like you said, like they're going to shut down 3 lanes of traffic and sextuple the amount of the length of a drive, because it's just I don't know. I hate it. I don't like anything about Colorado.
Yeah. No, I watched on Google Maps too, when we like first got caught in it. It was like, it says it's like a 4-hour delay, right? And we were stuck there. And then so we were with Ange, and she's like, because we're gonna go pick up Kirsten and Cameron from the airport. You guys don't know this, but with Aunt gonna go pick up cousins.
Yeah.
All right. So we leave, and then I was like, oh wow, it's backed up. And she's like, you think we got enough gas for this? Because like 4 hours, it's like 4 hours, like instead of 2 hours. She's like, you think we got enough gas? I was like, I mean, I think so. But she's like, real panicky, whatever. She's like, I'm gonna stop, get gas. So she turned out on one of those, those emergency turn spots that you're not supposed to turn on unless you're like law enforcement, stuff like that. She turned on that, went back, got gas. So like 5-10 minutes, drive back, and the road we were on, we could see off in the distance from the gas station, was now completely backed up to the off ramp and stuff. She pulls up on the on ramp. I checked the map again, and it went from that 4 hours to that 10 hour delay, and it was like, oh my god! So in the
Jeez,
matter
dude.
of 10 minutes, that's how traffic was.
Yeah.
In Colorado,
Yeah.
we love to see it.
Sorry, I was also Googling at the same time why Denver
Yeah,
traffic is so bad. And it literally makes like a top 10 list of like worst
yeah. There
traffic
were
in the United
no
States.
alternate roads
Yeah.
around. I think I saw one road that could turn off for a little bit, like it might have been like a little drive, because I was checking maps. I was like, is there anywhere we could get off here, because we're in between like the mountains and stuff. I was like,
Mhm.
is there anywhere? I was looking at all the roads and all the paths and all alternative routes, but obviously any like the ones that did turn back on were like very, very short roads. So it's like, what, I'm gonna skip 100 cars, like it really did not do that much of to help. It
Yeah.
sucked.
We could just do what people do here when there's road work on the highway. Just drive on the
Just drive.
shoulder, just drive in
Yeah.
the grass around all the people.
Well,
Uh,
everyone in their lifted trucks,
yeah, exactly.
I'm so over lifted trucks. I think I'm over that. I've never had a thing for it. I'm saying, like, I used to be like neutral, like, wow, okay, aren't you cool driving your lifted truck, whatever. I just have a hatred towards them now. I've met enough annoying people from it that I'm just kind of, it's like, why?
It kind of depends. I could see why, if you're, where you live, why you would think that, because that's like probably your most annoying demographic of
Mm-hmm.
drivers. And I used to be the same way, but now I've kind of come to hate um, the Nissan Altima
Yeah,
and
it's definitely a where you live thing.
the new one too. I've noticed. So the Altima is kind of an ancient meme. We all know the Altima is like the highway missile, and they're coming for you. Like the other
Yeah.
one I've come to hate is, I think,
Is
is
it
the new
BMW?
Altima. No, well, okay, yeah, but that's kind of a given. That's even more ancient
Yeah.
than the Altima meme. The new one is the Hyundai Elantra. Just
Ooh.
whatever the cheapest Hyundai sedan is. Because now those
You're
are
big on Hyundai, aren't you?
no,
Or no, it's Honda.
Honda,
You're a
yeah.
Honda.
I like Honda. And you know what? You usually too, you see Honda drivers are usually pretty civilized too. Because it's like such an
Spoken
old
like
person.
a true Honda driver.
Yeah, it's and you do get the occasional like. The problem is people who want to make their Hondas really annoying. They put like the little fart can exhaust on it and stuff. They're so slow because they don't have any money to actually do it.
Yeah.
But if they do have like a performance Honda, or quote performance, so like an SI or a Type R or a Type S Acura or anything, then they're not going to drive like that. They want to, they're sensible. Like, there's a reason they chose the most grandma version of like a sports car, performance car possible. They're probably like reasonably sensible.
You saying that is a perfect segue to what I want to do. With grandma's.
Pick out a car.
No, well, with grandma's car, what I want to do. Have you seen those clips of people taking boxes and cutting them into like oh god, what is it, like body work for cars? So they'll like cut out a spoiler or like a scoop,
cool,
or like vents on the side, or a skirt. I want to do that, and then they duct tape it
like
to
a
their
body
car.
kit.
Yeah, body kit. That's what it is. Yeah, so I want to do that and just put it on the car, because I've seen some clips of those recently, and it's been a meme for a few years now, but now it seems more prominent of people doing that.
That's so funny.
The cardboard body kit.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I don't think I've seen this before. I've heard of people using here. Oh my god, this is so funny.
You see it?
Yeah, this looks great. Someone made like the eyelashes, like those like headlight eyelashes that sometimes people put on their cars.
That's what I want to do.
And of course, they're all Hondas. Here. They're literally all Hondas. Every single one of these pictures. That's so funny. Oh my god. Okay,
no, it's honestly the funniest thing ever. I love it so much.
So what I have heard of people doing is taking let me see if I can pull up a picture. Like yard yard liner. I don't know what to call this stuff. Like the plastic that you would use to like separate grass from like wood chips.
Oh.
Like this type of stuff. I don't know if that's gonna show.
Okay, yeah.
So for cars that don't have like a lot of aftermarket support. So okay, if there I don't think we have any audio listeners, but if we did, it's that stuff that you use like at the edge of like a wood chip. It's like a barrier to keep it locked in so it doesn't spill over to the grass or like onto the sidewalk or whatever. But people will take that sometimes and like rivet it into like the underside. And actually I have seen it's kind of funny. It sounds like it would be like I'm trying to avoid there's a very specific term I'm trying not to use because I think I may have just found out it was racist recently.
I think I know what you're
Yes.
maybe. Did our sister inform you?
No. I just saw some discourse about it.
Oh.
So, well, should we talk about that then? Oh, anyway, so you can use that to make like side skirts or like kind of like lip type stuff underneath, your bumpers and stuff. And actually, it doesn't turn out terribly. It definitely doesn't look.
Because it kind of looks like carbon fiber.
Yeah, it
like
doesn't.
With that black.
Yeah,
look to
it doesn't look as bad as you might think it would. So I don't know where I was going with that.
Oh, just talking about the additions. What you want to do that to your car?
No,
your little Honda.
No. Well,
all maybe. I'm saying is we could spend a weekend together chopping up cardboard and the whatever that material is.
Yeah.
Chop it up. Some brother on brother action in the garage.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Are those my triceps?
Yeah.
What? What?
Oh, sheesh.
What?
Those push-ups. Those 50 push-ups a day, huh?
No, I don't do push-ups. They suck.
Push-ups anymore?
I do. If I do push-ups, it's on I have a very specific day, and I only do like 20 push-ups because I just hate doing them so much. I'll do anything else. Please just don't make me do push-ups.
I hate crunches or like sit-ups, stuff like that. There's that one bicycle one. That one, no.
Yeah. Also, when I flexed, I like hurt my shoulder.
Yeah.
I went way too hard flexing.
No.
Hang on, let me get a pump and then I'll flex again. Sorry, just kidding. What?
the bicycle crunches, abdominal stuff, I absolutely hate. I was doing good for a little bit there, like a month or two after we left your house. I was like talking about wanting to start watching what I eat. I do still watch what I eat. But the whole working out aspect of it, I was trying to get a bunch of cardio stuff in so my heart doesn't like kill me in 5 years.
Well, that's why I thought maybe we could talk about that because I remember we talked about that in person in the past, but I didn't know if you wanted to revisit it or anything. And I'm like, that's like my thing. That's like my autistic special focus, my special interest
is working out.
Is working out, yeah. So I didn't know if you wanted to.
If you need a roommate, we can just be gym bros. I'll move in. We'll become gym bros. I'll lurk around the house in the middle of the night. Steal you guys' bananas and beans. I'm trying to think of what you just leave sitting around there.
Bananas, yeah. Usually, if we have beans, we're going to use them. You know what I'm
saying? Beans. Yeah, you guys...
Sorry.
You guys don't have like random which is like the polar opposite of our mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so one thing I started doing is tracking like everything that I eat goes into this app.
Yeah.
And so here's my for example. When we recently went to go stay with Natalie's parents, or like we were just visiting for a weekend, and they have all the like Little Debbie snacky cakes and the chickpeas and the whatever, everything you could possibly want, which we don't keep in our house personally, because if we're gonna eat, it's gonna be like a meal or whatever. And I track my calories and stuff. everything that I eat, I will like compulsively put into my app thing. And my daily average of calories, so this is like over the past week, is like 2,600 calories,
Ooh.
which I think is good.
Yeah.
And then when we went to go stay, you notice on my thing, there is a day that's literally so high that it moves
Yeah.
the line all the way up to 5,000 calories.
That's
And
nice.
on that day, it's not telling me exactly, but it's literally, it's up to like 5,400 calories on that day. And that wasn't like, I wasn't like starving or anything. And in fact, we didn't even eat. So
It
we
was
left.
just easy access.
Yeah.
To that
We
stuff.
left in the like kind of the mid afternoon, and I was busy that day and I didn't have time to eat beforehand. And so the crazy thing is we left without having eaten a breakfast or lunch or anything. And that was all done. I ate like 5,400 calories in the span of like 6 p.m. to like midnight.
Oh,
Just
God.
because all
Because
the
it's left
access.
out.
Yeah, dude. All the access
That's what
to all
it's
the little
like
snacky
here when
cakes and
everyone was
stuff.
here.
And they don't fill you up either. You know, it's not like you finish
No.
eating it and it's just like, oh, wow, I'm stuffed. You know, like I went to bed hungry and like
Yeah.
I brought like a couple extra little packets of nuts. You know, like those
Mhm.
single serving like walnut packs or whatever. I brought like 3 of those back to bed with me.
Yeah.
When I went to bed, because I was like, man, I'm just still hungry.
That's what it was like when everyone was here, when Angie and Laura went shopping, and then they came back with those chips and those random like pumpkin not brownies, pumpkin cupcake thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
You were here too. You
Yeah.
saw all that.
That's all I
That was
ate.
just laying around. It was just like I walked in, I was like, okay, maybe one chip. I'll snack on a one chip. But it's like, what does that one chip benefit me? You know? Sure, it's gonna taste delicious for a second, but like, I mean, it's just gonna make me want to eat more, and then I'll just keep being like, well, okay, it's just 2 chips. Okay, it's just one more little pumpkin thingy, you know? Like it was like, yeah, it's definitely just like if it's there, you grab it and eat it.
Yeah.
I've noticed. So it's just very difficult. I pretend like the unhealthy stuff that does end up here isn't here. So
And that's a tricky thing too. If you're not like fully in charge of what comes in the house, you know, it's so hard to
yeah.
even resist, like just, you know, because it's just so easy just to be like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of hungry, you know, like I'm going to eat real quick. Unless you like,
Well, yeah, that's how it was with those little cookies too. They had little cookies, and it's like, oh, what's this tiny little cookie gonna do to me? But it's like still eating a tiny little cookie, you know.
yeah, and they add up
Three
quick too
of them.
compared to like
Yeah.
real food. You know, like I've kind of figured for a long time, you know, I wanted to make sure that I do this in a way that's, you know, when I I'm trying to do things that like move me in the right direction. You know, I want to do it in a way that's like sustainable, you know, because I've kind of
Yeah.
found that every single time, you know, every like 2 years or so, I have like a really good month, you know, where I'm like, okay, this time for real, you know, like I'm gonna get on
Yeah.
a routine and I'm gonna do a diet and I'm gonna do all this stuff. But you know, then it obviously like tapers off, you know, and you miss a
Mhm.
day, and then that turns into a week, and then you know, by the end of that month, you're like not even thinking about it
Yeah.
anymore. So I wanted to do it
I'm
in
the
a way
exact same way.
where I'm like, instead of giving myself like a pre-planned diet or like meal planning so much, you know, like saying like getting the exact servings and stuff, you know, I just try to
Yeah.
what I was doing is I was eating normally, and then just recording and then just getting the feedback, and then without even like no judgment, no plan in place to be like, okay, well, one day I'm going to step this back. No, nothing, you know, like I was just recording what I ate, just so that like when I am, so now I'm kind of to the point where before I eat, I'll kind of like punch in some hypothetical, like, you know, so like today we had or I made like rice, eggs, and breakfast sausage.
Yeah.
And usually, so in that meal, you know, if you're thinking about calories, there's one specific food in there that should be sending off alarm bells, and that's that
Mhm.
breakfast sausage. Because I started punching in like some some amounts. I was like, okay, so what if I eat like 100 grams of breakfast sausage, which is like not very much, like if you're looking at like little patties or whatever, like breakfast
Yeah.
sausage patties or whatever, that's probably like two of those, and two of those would have been, let me see if I can get accurate with this. Two of those probably would have been like 300 or 400 calories right there, which is like half my lunch.
Yeah.
Just because of that. So what I've started doing now, like I said, is I'll punch in some like hypothetical things until I get like a calorie count that I'm happy with for lunch. Because the other thing too is like we don't eat breakfast, or I don't eat breakfast. So I have kind of a tendency of like, once lunch rolls around, I'm like, all right, let the beast loose, and I'll eat like,
Yeah.
if it were up to me, I would easily guzzle down like 1,200 calories, easily.
Because
And then
1,200 tastes good.
yeah, exactly. And then by, about a half hour later, the digestion starts and it's like time for a nappy, and I can't get anything done. So I've kind of found that if I go for kind of a light goal of, like about like an 800 calorie lunch or so, and what's nice about that, if you're going off of that, you don't really have to worry so much about the exact, like, okay, I got this many carbs and this much fat and this much protein and what, it's more of just like, okay, try not to go too far over 800. Otherwise you're going to need a nappy here in a little bit. And then the whole rest of the day is like ruined.
Need a nappy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I try to do it in that way. And then I let that food settle a little bit. And then I do end up feeling like reasonably full. And then by the end of the day, I kind of take stock. And then I figure out how much protein I need, and then I'll just eat cottage cheese until I've hit like my protein goal for the day, basically.
Nice. Yeah. My thing with that is I was using that tracker app just a little bit, and then I was like, man, I'm like not eating like anywhere near like what it is. And so I was like, still losing that weight. And I realized just like my normal diet, if I just cut out all the bad things that I was snacking on, the pizza, the chips, which I cut out the chips already, but it was that pizza. It's just so easy to just nom nom, like make a quick pizza, 15 minutes, warm it up, it was just so I cut that out and just kind of replaced it with a sandwich here or there. It was a lot better. So I've let the tracking slip, but I know I'm still like not eating an unhealthy amount of random things. So I mean, and yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that I feel like for a lot of people though, that's a little hard. Well, okay, so it's like I see where you're coming from to be like, I need to cut out all the junk food, but
yeah,
if you want to do that sustainably, I feel like it's really easy to kind of slip back in, where it's like you give yourself a cheat day. So what I would suggest,
done it a few times,
and kind of and what Kelsey and I kind of talked about when we saw each other last week or 2 weeks ago, we talked about, I kind of had this realization that instead of like trying to cut out all the bad stuff right away, try to instead incorporate the good stuff first, and then I think what happens when you do that is, if you get enough good stuff in a day, it doesn't really leave room for the bad stuff, like, so if you instead, if you're like, okay, I'm going to force down, like for lunch, like 2 bananas, an apple, and I don't know, some rice or something.
Nice.
Like starting there, then like later on in the day, I feel like you're less likely to reach for the chips and stuff because you'll just be like satiated, like it's not as, and that's, maybe that's not really maybe the best example. I would say then make like a protein smoothie or something instead. Protein smoothie, put a little cottage cheese and raw egg in there, suck that thing down, and then you're like not even hungry for lunch. And you've got all this good protein that like kind of it's so there's this whole idea, it's like scientific. Let me see if I can find the exact video. there's this channel I really like called What I've Learned. Um, and he like reads and digests all of these scientific articles and stuff, so you don't have to. And basically, the general finding is most people know that like the food pyramid is like
Yeah.
totally effed. You know, like it is not healthy. It's not sustainable, and it's not like what the average person needs to like get by in life. But anyway, the idea is that he kind of brings up a lot is that a lot of people really aren't getting enough protein in the day, so you end up feeling more hungry throughout the day because your body's like craving protein and probably water too. A lot of people also aren't drinking enough water in the day. But as you start looking at filling out that protein macro throughout the day, like some days I'm like, I literally find it hard to get enough calories in, like to, not that I'm like have like a super strict like minimum calorie or anything, but like I've noticed it on the days where I am like really emphasizing getting enough protein and stuff, like I'm so full and so satiated that I like end up going like 5 or 6 or 700 calories under like what my daily allotment was, just because I feel so full, because I've gotten enough protein and I'm just literally not hungry for anything else, you know?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, my thing too is just it's hard knowing. I could just look it up. I'm just too lazy. Is knowing exactly what has what and what each of them kind of do for each other, and that's just me needing to look it up, like looking up what will eating this give me versus just like sitting there and actually eating it.
Yeah, and I think seeing it's hard to, unless you do like deliberately track it or study it or whatever, you know, like there are, you know, do you know who Sam Sulek is?
No, I don't.
He's so funny. You may have seen him. He's like this I think he's a bodybuilder. But it's this guy.
Oh,
that guy
maybe
with like the long hair and the Cowboy Bebop hat. He has like, so I'll watch
TikToks.
Yeah, he does TikToks.
Okay, maybe
I've seen his I've watched some of his vlogs and stuff, and he has like literally memorized, you know, like how much protein and fat is in like an egg versus just the egg yolk versus just the egg white. How much protein and fat is in a like ground beef or in a steak or chicken or whatever, you know. So it's funny to watch him like, but he eats the same thing every single day. So I feel like, you know, if you're not gonna really like fully study it in that way or track it super religiously, it is really hard to get like an understanding of what's in stuff. To jump off of that a little bit, just for you and me and anybody listening, I've noticed that a lot of the high protein plant-based stuff is generally a major scam. You know, so people talk about like, oh, eat beans and tofu and stuff like, and you think you're like being healthy. Not to say that those aren't healthy necessarily, but you know, if you're trying to hit like a minimum protein amount in a day, you almost 1000% will not get it by a like mostly plant-based sources, because just looking at the actual macros, they have so much more either fat or carbs than you would ever even begin to imagine, compared to something just like an egg, you know, or a glass of milk, or, you know, whatever, like just or cottage cheese, or, you know, whatever. It's like literally just sitting down and looking at that. The comparisons don't even, it's not even like the same ballpark, you know, of like what kind of macronutrients you'll be getting from those food sources.
Yeah, it's all just like really, really like, it's a lot to take in at the start, but I don't know. I feel like once I kind of cut something out that I know is not good, then it can be kind of easy. Which I know it's not like that for like, well, a lot of people that's the hardest part. Is just like kind of cutting it out. For me, at least, is once I do that, I'm pretty good at managing that. So yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, your boy's just eating sandwiches now.
Yeah,
Yum
and
yum
also
yum.
I did forget you're kind of like you go kind of freak mode with that stuff though too, in a way that like I feel
Heck
like
yeah.
the average person can't. Um, like when you cut out your sodies and stuff like
My
that.
sodies, and then I'd cut out my Gatorade.
Oh, not the
And
Gatorade. Some
yeah, the
Gator. So
Gatorade's done.
if you want to reincorporate the Gatorade, um,
No,
no, I'm serious because I'm with you. Like, I've
the
also
Gatorade
gone.
zero sugar.
Yeah, I've tried to go even farther with like doing, like minimally processed and like minimal preservatives and like the food that I eat and stuff, which is like, God, once you go down that rabbit hole, like it's like debilitating at first. It's like, well,
Yeah.
literally everything is going to have something in it that's probably not good for you. But you can hit a point that's reasonable. But what I was going to say is the Gatorade G Fit. If you've ever seen those,
I have not.
gas station, look out for those because those have pretty good like micronutrient profiles.
Ooh,
So like they're pretty jam packed with like especially like vitamin C, some B vitamins, and
ooh, that remind me.
there was another one that was like good. I was impressed, and the reason I mentioned that specifically is because it's got very minimal preservatives. It might have like one preservative in it, if anything at all. Actually, I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna look. And they're very low calorie. They're very low sugar. I think it has like 2 grams of sugar and like 10 calories per bottle, but it's not filled up with junk, to make it taste good. Here's how I know, because they taste like crap. They're kind of disgusting at first, but you can kind of get there with them a little bit.
That's how I feel about Mother's
Vitamin A. That was the other one.
Thingies. Her whatever she puts in her sparkling water.
Yeah, those are so bad for you.
Yeah,
so
she
bad.
Just doesn't like normal water.
G-Fit label. Here we go. So G-Fit has I swear there was like one thing in there. I was like, I wish it didn't have this, but come on, man.
Come on.
This is great podcast content. There we go. I found it.
Sitting there.
It's got. Oh wait, no. Oh. It's got. Oh, so it's got the ingredient. So like looking at the watermelon one, for example, it's got clarified watermelon juice concentrate, which I don't know what that means. But after that, it's literally just natural flavors and vitamins. Is the entire rest of the label. So it wasn't even anything specific like a preservative or anything, but I just don't know what clarified watermelon juice extract is, to the point where I don't know if they're trying to play funny with me a little bit, and trying to get that.
I assume everybody plays funny at this point.
But
we're in a time where people just do not care anymore. Yeah. Everyone's evil.
But where are you going to get that? Where are you going to get your food anywhere?
Yeah. Oh, where are you going to get anything anywhere anymore, dude?
Come on, man. There we go. Oh, dude. Okay, this is a loss. I'm gonna get out of here. But yeah, so check those out if you need like a sweet drink, and if you're trying to like fill out your vitamins a little bit, because those will do. You drink one of those like once every other day. It pretty much gets you any vitamin you might be like kind of deficient in, like vitamin A, B, or C. It'll get you all those pretty good.
Ooh. Okay. I see. Wow. Oh, ow. Dang. Talking healthy, man.
Yeah. I don't know.
Me neither. I don't know either. Healthy sucks. I just want to go back to eating chips
I know.
and having that high metabolism.
What does your sandwich recipe look like?
Cheese, 2 pieces of bread. I don't know what kind. And some bologna.
Mm,
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah. That's plain old sandwich. No. That's it. I mean, but hey, it gets the job done. I don't know. Other than that, yeah, healthy. Be healthy. The end.
You should, yeah. Well, I don't know. I was gonna
Nah,
say you should get a blender. I think. Do you guys have a
and
blender?
drink it. No,
I'll just say start throwing stuff in the blender.
and drinking it.
Yeah, and just make shakes.
Drink my sandwiches.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You could throw some Doritos in there for flavor too.
Oh, true. Yeah. I
Get some milk,
honestly,
skim milk.
ew. I
2
can't.
pieces of
Skim
bread.
milk's so bad. It's so bad. Mother drinks that. I can't. Gotta have that blue cap 2%. You know what I'm saying?
2%. We get 1%.
Ooh.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Can't do a
No,
scam,
it's
though.
yeah. I don't know. I think that afternoon sleepiness is hitting me, dude. That
I
fall
know.
vibes is I'm so excited. You gonna do anything for Halloween? Gonna go to the Renaissance Festival.
Probably not. No, Renaissance Festival sucked.
Yeah, we were talking about that. How it was pretty much just like a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, unless
There's
you're
a
gonna
lot in front of you, but you couldn't do any of it.
yeah, unless you're gonna be prepared to spend like $300. You know, there's really
Oh
not
yeah,
much you can do.
that bird whistle I bought was like $15-$20.
Yeah, which it didn't used to be like that. Like when we would go in high school and stuff, for our gifted program, we would go to the Renaissance Festival every year.
You were gifted,
and I remember bringing like $20 or $40, you know, and like walking or like getting back on the bus with like all this cool stuff, you know, like that was enough to get food.
That was a lot of money at that time. Thinking about being in high school.
I know.
Having like $40, that seemed like so much.
I know. Yeah. Doesn't go very far anymore. $20 is the new $1.
It really is. That sucks.
$5 maybe, yeah. I know, it is crazy to watch watch your money literally just like shrink in front of your face, you know, like my paycheck's not going up, but you know, my rent certainly is. Groceries certainly are, you know.
I don't know. I just want to like get into I've been saying this every year for like last few years, but I just want to like do more for the seasons. I want to do something for like fall, you know, before Halloween comes around. I don't know what that something would be.
Go on walks.
I do.
Oh, okay.
I love going fall walks. I have a whole fall playlist. It's such a vibe. But yeah, so just going out with the light breeze and the crispy wind, or smelling the air. Yeah, I got a playlist for that. But I mean, like, I want to do something eventful, you know?
Yeah, with
people, but I don't know anyone here.
You have $300.
Yeah,
and too bad. Oh, money bucks.
Yeah.
Can I have $300?
Yeah, I got you. No, everything I do that's eventful now is just in games because that's all that's fun.
Fortnite.
It's like
Fortnitemares. Yeah, play with me.
Actually, play.
Yes, Fortnite. Dude. I'm grinding Fortnite hard.
Like the battle royale.
Yeah, we're about to get kicked out, but grind me in Fortnite a little.
Grind